He was the man who woke up all of America every single morning. For over 20 years, Matt Lauer sat behind that famous desk on NBC's Today Show, smiling into the camera, making millions of people feel like everything was going to be okay. He was earning $25 million a year. He was trusted. He was loved. And then, in less than 24 hours, it all collapsed. One morning, his co-hosts showed up to work and found out he was gone. Not leaving. Not retiring. Gone. Fired. Banned. Never coming back. And what came out after that changed everything people thought they knew about him. Today, we're going to show you exactly what happened, what the cameras never showed you, and what Matt Lauer's life actually looks like right now. Because trust me, it is not what you would expect. To really understand how far Matt Lauer fell, you first have to understand how high he climbed. He was not born into television. He did not have a famous father who opened doors for him. Matt Lauer was born on December 30th, 1957, in New York City, and he built everything himself, one step at a time. His father worked at a bicycle company. His mother had been a model and ran her own small boutique. Those two very different worlds shaped him early. From his father, he learned how to work hard and stay disciplined. From his mother, he learned that image matters and that how the world sees you can open doors or shut them forever. Both lessons would follow him his entire career. Growing up, he watched his grandfather perform as a professional singer. It was not a huge career, but watching that man stand on a stage and hold a room full of people in his hands left a deep mark on young Matt. He started to understand something very important. It was not just about talent. It was about connection. It was about making people feel something real. That lesson, learned as a child, would later become the secret weapon that made Matt Lauer one of the most watchable anchors in television history. In the late 1970s, Matt enrolled at Ohio University to study communications. He was on track to graduate. But in 1979, just 4 credits away from finishing his degree, he made a bold and risky decision. He dropped out. He did not want to sit in a classroom anymore. He wanted real experience in the real world. So he took his first job as a news producer at a small TV station in West Virginia. It was not glamorous. It was not well-paying. But Matt did not care. He showed up every single day and worked harder than everyone around him. Within just 1 year, he was already on camera with his own reporting segments. That kind of fast rise was almost unheard of for someone without a degree. But Matt was not typical, and he was just getting started. Through the 1980s, he kept moving forward. He co-hosted a fast-paced lifestyle show called PM Magazine, jumping between cities like Richmond, Providence, and eventually New York. Every time he moved, he had to start over with a brand new audience in a brand new city. Most people would have found that exhausting. Matt found it exciting. He adjusted his style each time, learned what each audience wanted, and became sharper and more confident with every single move. By the time he landed in New York City, the country's biggest media market, he was polished, ready, and hungry for the next level. In 1986, he co-hosted a national show on ABC. It did not last long, but it put his face in front of viewers across the whole country for the first time. He was no longer just a local name. He was becoming something bigger. By the late 1980s, Matt was working in multiple cities at the same time, hosting in Philadelphia, covering sports for ESPN, and doing entertainment segments for HBO. People in the industry joked he lived at the airport. The hours were brutal, and the travel was relentless. But he kept showing up, and he kept delivering. He was building a reputation as someone who could do it all, and that reputation was about to open the biggest door of his career. In 1992, Matt was almost out of money, with no regular TV job and close to missing rent. Then WNBC gave him a lifeline, hiring him to co-anchor a local morning show. Within a year, he was promoted to a prime evening slot. Sometimes he was appearing on 3 different NBC programs in the same day. Executives at the network started to notice something special about him. He was smooth, reliable, and no matter what you threw at him, whether it was live breaking news, a celebrity interview, or a serious national crisis, he handled everything with the same calm warmth. That combination was rare, and NBC knew exactly what they had. On January 6, 1997, Matt Lauer was officially named co-anchor of the Today Show, taking over from Bryant Gumbel, one of the biggest names in morning television. The pressure was enormous, and everyone in the industry was watching. That first week, the ratings came in as the second highest in the show's entire history. He did not just survive the pressure. He thrived under it. He had a gift that very few people in television truly have. He made you feel like he was talking directly to you. Not to a camera. Not to millions of people. Just to you. That feeling is almost impossible to teach, and Matt had it naturally. His on-screen chemistry with co-anchor Katie Couric became legendary. On camera, they laughed together, finished each other's sentences, and turned the morning show into something that felt less like the news and more like spending time with two friends in your kitchen. Viewers loved it. The ratings kept climbing. At his peak, Matt was earning $25 million a year and was one of the most powerful people in American media. He interviewed presidents, covered wars, and sat across from some of the most famous people on the planet. For more than 2 decades, he was the face of morning television in America. And almost nobody knew what was really going on behind the scenes. While the world was watching that friendly smile every morning, things in Matt Lauer's personal life were already falling apart. In 1998, he married a Dutch model named Annette Roque. On the surface, it looked like the perfect pairing. They bought homes together, had 3 children together, and smiled for every camera that pointed their way. But in 2006, while Annette was pregnant with their 3rd child, she filed for divorce. The things she said in that filing were deeply shocking. She accused Matt of mental abuse, emotional cruelty, controlling behavior, and extreme hostility. She described a man who was nothing like the warm person millions of Americans saw on their screens every morning. Just weeks later, she withdrew the petition, and they went to counseling. They stayed together for another 10 years. But according to people close to them, they were never really the same. They were 2 people living separate lives under the same roof, holding together an image that had already cracked from the inside. The collapse of Matt Lauer's career did not happen overnight, even though it looked that way from the outside. It had been building quietly for years. It started at the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia, when a young NBC employee told the network that Matt had sexually assaulted her in his hotel room. The details were deeply disturbing, and she was very clear that it was not a misunderstanding. Her name was Brooke Nevels, and her account stayed private for years. But it did not disappear. It sat there, waiting for the right moment. On November 29, 2017, NBC received an official complaint. Within less than 24 hours, Matt Lauer was fired. The speed of it shocked the entire country. His co-hosts Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb found out just minutes before they had to go on live television and announce it to the world. You could see the pain written all over their faces. These were people who had worked alongside this man for years, people who had trusted him. After more than 20 years on that show, it ended in a single morning. And then the stories started coming. Within 24 hours, at least 3 more women came forward with their own accounts. Then more came after that. Variety magazine published a devastating investigation after speaking with dozens of current and former NBC employees. What they described was not just one man's bad behavior. It was a clear and consistent pattern that had been going on for many years. The report revealed that Matt had a secret button hidden under his desk that allowed him to lock his office door from the inside without getting up. Several women said he used it to trap them. The article described an atmosphere of fear across the entire workplace, where women who tried to speak up were ignored and others were too afraid to say anything at all because Matt Lauer had so much power that coming forward felt like career suicide. NBC fired him for cause, meaning the wrongdoing was serious enough that they did not owe him a single dollar of his remaining contract. He walked away with nothing from the network. Not a farewell, not a goodbye speech, not a cent of severance. In 2019, journalist Ronan Farrow published a book that went even deeper into the allegations, including the full account from Brooke Nevels about what happened in Sochi. Matt denied everything and released a long public letter accusing Farrow of bad journalism. Most people were not moved. The damage was already permanent, and his name had become part of a much larger national conversation about power and silence. So where is Matt Lauer today? After being fired, he simply disappeared. His divorce from Annette became final in September 2019. She walked away with close to $20 million in assets, including full ownership of their horse farm. He agreed to all her terms without a fight. He then retreated to his massive estate in the Hamptons, a $36.5 million waterfront property with 12 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, and over 14,000 square feet of space. He stayed behind those gates and tried to become invisible. Locals would occasionally spot him doing ordinary things, but he always looked tired, like a man carrying something very heavy. The estate eventually sold in 2022 for just under $41 million. His closest friends stopped calling. Some said he went months without speaking to anyone outside his immediate family. But here is the part that surprises most people. Despite losing his career, his reputation, and his marriage, Matt Lauer is not broke. His net worth today is still estimated at around $80 million. He does not need to work, and no network would hire him even if he wanted to come back. In 2019, he quietly began a relationship with a longtime friend named Shaman Abbas, a luxury brand executive. They travel together, keep a low profile, and have now been together for more than 5 years. By 2024, people close to him said he had started slowly reconnecting with old friends and spending more time with his children, finding some kind of quiet rhythm in a life he never planned on living. There is no comeback, no podcast, no interview tour. Just a man who once had everything, living quietly behind gates, far from the cameras that made him famous and eventually exposed everything he spent decades trying to hide. The Matt Lauer story is not just about one man losing a job. It is a reminder that no matter how big your smile is on camera, the truth always finds a way out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, because we have plenty more stories like this one coming that the world has already forgotten, but we have not.